blush to you. We're playing with my heart. You're sharp instead of dark, and I'll pop like a balloon. Didn't you hear me say that? I can't take it, I can't take it. Tell me I've got a problem, and I do, dear. If you know love, didn't you hear me say that? I can't take it, I can't take it. Tell me I've got a problem, and I do, dear. If you know love, I'm a monster, you are. 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 I'm just that kind of fool. Fell in love with you, and it was too much too soon. You were playing with my heart, with your sharp instead of darts, and I popped like a balloon. Didn't you hear me say that? I can't take it, I can't take it. Tell me I've got a problem, and I do, dear. This ain't no love. Didn't you hear me say that? I can't take it, I can't take it. Tell me I've got a problem, and I do, dear. Yes, I know love, and I do, dear. Yes, I know love. She works the nights by the water. She's gone astray, so far away from her father's daughter. She just wants her life for a baby. All on her own, no one will come. She's got to save him. She tells him, ooh, love, no one's ever gonna hurt you, love. I'm gonna give you all of my love. Nobody matters like you. She tells him, your life ain't gonna be nothing like my life. You're gonna grow and have a good life. I'm gonna do what I got to do. So rock-a-bye, baby, rock-a-bye. I'm gonna rock you, rock-a-bye, baby, don't you cry. Somebody's got you, rock-a-bye, baby, rock-a-bye. I'm gonna rock you, rock-a-bye, baby, don't you cry. Rock-a-bye. She found her love way too early. He left her there with more than tears and hurt to carry. They said too young, what are you thinking? They told her to, she chose to use her heart and keep him. Now she got a 6-year-old, trying to keep him warm, trying to keep all the gold. When he looks in her eyes, he don't know he is safe when she says, ooh, love, no one's ever gonna hurt you, love. I'm gonna give you all of my love. Nobody matters like you. So rock-a-bye, baby, rock-a-bye. I'm gonna rock you, rock-a-bye, baby, don't you cry. Rock-a-bye. Now she got a 6-year-old, trying to keep him warm, trying to keep. When he looks in her eyes, he don't know he is safe when she says she tells him, "Who wants ever gonna leave you?"
Set the right volume. You want the mic guy? We haven't didn't expect that.
In theory.
You know, it was like this. And then you're crossing.
Still playing radio? Just turn the radio on.
I did.
Or put mute.
We got 3 listeners. We got 3 watchers, James. Oh, you're watching too. Yeah.
Yeah, I can.
What?
Oh yeah, you can hear pretty well.
No, don't look at it.
It's slightly laggy.
So Mr. Boucher spoke about the history. That must be.
Yeah, concerning its traversing.
That's I still can't. You don't really know the history of this.
No, I do.
No, you, not him. Phil Boucher is there. Here's what Mr. Boucher.
Oh, shit, you're right. Hey, James. Did I talk about the history of CJMQ?
It will be a sunny day with a high of 18 and a low of 9. It is currently 11 degrees. This has been the 88.9 The Qube Weather Report.
Speakers ready. Receiver on. FM modulation set to 88.9 FM. CJMQ Sherbrooke. The Qube.
Baby, I'm the baddest, I'm the baddest, I'm the baddest.
Now I'm out here looking like revenge, feeling like a 10, the best I ever been. And yeah, I know how bad it must hurt to see me like this, but it gets worse. Now you're out here looking like regret, ain't too proud to beg, second chance you'll never get. And yeah, I know how bad it must hurt to see me like this, but it gets worse. Now payback is bad shit, and baby, I'm the baddest. Stop playing with a savage, can't have this, can't have this. And it'd be nice of me to take it easy on ya, but nah. Baby, I'm sorry. Baby, I'm sorry. Being so bad got me feeling so good. Showing you up like I know that I would. Baby, I'm sorry. Baby, I'm sorry. Feeling inspired cause the tables have turned. Yeah, I'm on fire and I know that it burns. Baby, fineness is the way to kill. Tell me how I feel, but it's such a bitter pill. And yeah, I know you thought you had bigger, better things, but right now this is. Cause the grass is greener under me. Brightest technicolor, I can tell that you can see. And yeah, I know how bad it must hurt to see me like this, but it gets worse. Now payback is bad chicken, baby, I'm the baddest. Stop playing with the savage, can't have this, can't have this. And it'd be nice of me to take it easy on ya, but nah. Baby, I'm sorry. Baby, I'm sorry. Being so bad got me feeling so good. Showing you up like I know that I would. Baby, I'm sorry. Baby, I'm sorry. Feeling inspired cause the tables have turned. Yeah, I'm on fire and I know that it burns. Talk that talk, baby. Better walk that walk, baby. If you talk that talk, baby. Better walk that walk, baby. Oh yeah, talk that talk, baby. Better walk that walk, baby. If you talk that talk, baby. Better walk that walk, baby. Baby, I'm sorry. Baby, I'm sorry. Being so bad got me feeling so good. Setting you up like I know that I would. Baby, I'm sorry. Baby, I'm sorry. Feeling inspired cause the tables have turned. Yeah, I'm on fire and I know that it burns. I'm sorry.
Bad chicken, baby, I'm the baddest, I'm the baddest, I'm the baddest.
What time is it right now? 42. I'll give it to 45. See if anybody else shows up.
Shorts.
Yeah, late showers, and then we'll start. I don't know if we're gonna have any late showers, but
Mic is on, Phil.
yeah, that's why I didn't. Yeah, that's fine.
That's gonna be fun.
Hello.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? It's joke telling time.
Go ahead, James.
Right.
How is a sandwich like a chef?
I don't know.
When it's bacon, lettuce, and tomato. Baking
Yep.
lettuce and tomatoes.
That's a dad joke right there.
You're
That's-
not ready. You're not ready for
I found it hilarious.
Daddy. That's a dad joke.
All right, just another minute. Time to turn the filter on.
Click.
Terry came up with that term.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's PHIL, not FIL. Filter. Yeah, because of how I am at work.
It's almost as bad as my plan.
Yeah. Almost.
Did you say a plan?
What's so funny?
Don't make me repeat it. Please don't.
It was
It has to be
almost-
really bad. Nobody got it.
I got it. I think I'm the only one who got it.
Everyone's gonna show up in November and be like, "Where's the meeting?"
Aren't you guys supposed to have a meeting?
November, the same date, November the 20th. Whoops.
Yep.
Yes.
2 plots here.
Yep. 2 or 3.
That's true. There is a third one. Yeah.
I was trying to follow what I was just saying to babies. I knew what time the meeting was. I called David and kind of. But
It wasn't on the website.
he said he
Yeah.
found it on the website and I couldn't find it.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not sure.
It is. It is. Yeah, it's on the Facebook page too. It is on the website. It's not very obvious though, I think.
We should make it more obvious.
A banner ad?
Yeah,
Not
there's no
like-
banner ad. It's
Yeah.
this little article right here.
Oh,
A type of. You should have put it up like up here.
I was
Yeah.
distracted by what's going on.
Yeah, we should probably make it.
Well, see, that's what I said. You should put it. You should
Yeah,
put
right
it like
there,
right
yeah.
there,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, up here in the corner. Yeah.
that would be perfect. Well, we know what to do next year.
It was very advertised on Facebook
Yeah.
and on the air too.
Yeah, but not everybody goes to our Facebook group.
And it was on the radio too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoops.
It was on the video.
You're giving a preview.
All right, take it away,
Okay.
Phil.
Was it in,
That's a good question. Did we have it in a record this year?
We should
We forgot the
we
record
should
this
maybe
year.
Take an ad.
Usually do it after the record.
some organizations have live streaming public announcement.
Mhm.
Usually means the local print media, but maybe not more.
Hmm.
We saw this on the record.
Yeah.
And then we saw it was quite expensive. They didn't give us a break on it.
Yeah. Plus, we technically do broadcast it live. Well, not live, but we do broadcast it on the air. So it is.
Pretty sure our
Public.
constitution says that we only have to do it on air.
Yeah, but we do. But next year, yeah, we definitely should put a banner on the website. I think it'd be a good idea. All right, let's start the meeting. Well, welcome everybody for showing up to our 2017 annual general meeting. Next slide, Vanna. No. So first things first, we're going to start with the approval of the agenda from this year's meeting. Last year's meeting? Oh yes,
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh, no, sorry, no, you're right.
No, it's this year's meeting. Yeah. It's
You're
the
on-
minutes.
You're on a point 2 already.
Okay.
Sorry.
You're ahead of the game.
First things first, we have obviously the approval of the agenda for the AGM. We're followed by approval of the minutes for the previous AGM, which the only people who can, when we get to that point, those people who can vote on are people who were at the last meeting. Report of the station, report of the president of the radio station board, followed by the report of the station manager, which is David. Then we're going to have the financial statements, which will be presented by James, followed by budget for the upcoming year, again, presented by James. Presentation of the board member candidates. Do we have anybody this year that's up
Nobody
for?
knew. It'll be you guys, though. We have people for renewal.
Yeah, but last year I think it was me and Terry, and this year would be.
No, I think it's the opposite, actually. I think it was
I thought
Andrew and I that were.
I thought it was us, and we'll have to look into it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're on alternating cycles. Followed by election and re-election of the board members, if any. Constitution changes. This year here we have 2 changes we're making on the Constitution, which we need to have votes on. And it's going to be in a period of any other business, which if anybody has questions and stuff like that, well, not really questions, but anything wants to be brought up. Then followed by the question period, and then adjournment and snacks. So first things first, we're going to need someone to approve the, to make a motion to approve the agenda.
Melody cutting?
Melody. We'll let our secretary catch up. He's typing it out. The note. He's not texting, if anybody's wondering. It just looks like I'm not caring.
Yes.
No.
Just take a second to, first time, you know everyone on board?
Yeah, that's.
I know the platform.
Yeah.
It's coming up in a slide.
Yeah, it's number 3. A lot of times I bring up that point. The president's. Yeah. All right. So we need a seconder. Oh, Mom. So Patricia. Patricia Birmingham. You're legally Birmingham, Ma. Yeah. And you're legally Patricia. I gotta teach her. She hates it. I know. Well, you can put Patsy Boucher. Prefer.
I put Patsy Boucher.
You're a smart man. All right.
Patsy Boucher it is. Smart man.
Safe move, safe move.
So all those in favor? Perfect. And anybody opposed? Good. Even though everybody said yes, we still have to ask. So next will be the approval of the minutes from the previous annual January meeting. Pretty much everybody should have got a copy of. And once again, the only people that can vote on that is or make it. Yeah, the only people who vote on the ones at the board meeting last year, which thankfully we have 2 people who were here last year besides the board members, because we can vote on it, but it has to be interest.
LF11, I think.
Or you just hit that
one of these, the presentation.
Oh no.
Like
there you go. Yeah.
And that's what happens to you. I don't know what the zoomy thing is.
So I'll just give. Should we read over it or just give the people a few minutes?
I can go over it quickly.
Yeah, if you want to go over it, you want me to go over it?
You can go over it. Just give me a second though, because this thing is stuck. Thanks to Terry. Let's just go back to this view.
Darn it, Terry. All right. So last year, the basically the minutes included. Mic a bit. Okay. So first point, we had the approval of the agenda of last year, followed by, I'm going to go start from the bottom, the approval of the minutes during this time, followed by the report of the president. Then we had the report of the station manager, which, as you can see, was talked about mostly. And we had financial statements by James once again. Budget, James presentation. Re-election of existing board members. Oh, yeah, Andrew.
Yeah,
okay.
Andrew and me, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you're right.
Terry.
It's me and Terry. Yes, you're right. So yeah, we had the re-election of the 2 board members, which was James and Andrew. There was no new board members. Not many people applying. Followed by any other business, which where we talked about the volunteer positions and stuff like that we need, and then we had an adjournment. If anybody doesn't have any changes that need to be done or whatever, we just need someone to make a motion. Oh, well, David. Anybody second? Patsy.
Get read this time.
Yeah, I got it right. I'm learning. All right. So now I'm going to basically present the board of directors. First things first. Well, I guess I'll stand up and be polite for this part because first of all, there's the president, which is myself. Been president since apparently 2006. That's a very long time.
You haven't been president since 2006.
No,
I mean, you've been on the board.
Well, it does say president director since.
Director is from the board.
I know. But no, I've been on the board. I've been on the president for.
Still quite a long time.
Yeah, almost 8 years now, I'd say.
Time
At
flies.
least that. Oh, geez, I'm getting there, right? Followed by our vice president, which is Terry, right here. Followed by our secretary, which is Andrew Hodge in the corner there. And then we have James, which pretty much everybody knows. And our station manager, which is David, who's an ex officio member, which but he can't vote. So yeah, so I don't know if anybody wants to say anything about themselves, but don't need to.
Next slide.
Next slide. All right. So we do a little bit about the station, which we do pretty much every year, just for the people who are new to the station. So started by Radio Club of Bishops University, CJMQ broadcast on the, well, it was AM, yeah, 5:30 for 40 years, so quite a long time. We don't have what year it started in, though. But I'm assuming 1947 because of
1987, yeah.
Yeah.
That's when it incorporated the CJMQ.
Oh, yeah. We don't have, do we have what year it changed to FM? No. Okay. So we did, we were
Yeah,
1995.
1995.
95? Oh, yeah, you're
25
right.
watts
Okay.
power.
So 1955 is when roughly it started, it seems like. 1987 incorporated as CJMQ Radio Bishop Sings, which we're still incorporated as. Followed by 1995, it became, is when we first started broadcasting at a very low power, which was, David, it was mostly on campus at that time, right? When we were at 25 watts, it was mostly on campus?
Yes.
Yeah.
The antenna was on top of the pub.
Yeah, on campus and outside of Lennoxville, forget it, you're not catching it.
Even on campus.
Yeah, pretty much true. See how much we changed since then, eh? Then in 1998, we went to 500 watts of power, which when we went to 500, the antenna moved, if I remember, right up the hill, right?
Yes.
Yes, which was giving us a lot better range.
Yeah.
Because at that point,
Then you could get it on campus.
yeah, you could get.
But not in Lennoxville.
No, kind of parts of Lennoxville.
Downtown Lennoxville was blackout area.
Yeah, but on Winder Street, I know you could, but not well.
Yeah.
Then in 2003, CJMQ changed our status to a community radio from campus, which it wasn't a huge difference, but the laws were different mostly of what we could broadcast and what we're allowed to do and stuff. Then in 2007, that's when we stopped accepting the SRC student funding, which was, I think they were charged $50 a student, right? Or something like that?
It was $5 a student.
$5, sorry.
Yeah.
Per semester.
Per semester. So yeah, and we figured
12 or 18,000 a year.
Yeah, so that wasn't really that much that we cut off. And then after we did that, in 2007, we also became a Type A, which was, as you can see here, a community radio station operating in a market where, at the time of licensing, no other radio station other than one owned by the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation is operating the same language in all or any part of the market, which was really easy to do because there's no other English stations in Eastern Townships, really. That's pretty much, really easy for that part. In 2008, we moved from Bishops over to the location we're at now, which is on
184.
Thank you, 184 Queen. Oh, it's right there. Then currently we're licensed at 1,670 watts of power, which we got quite a range. I was able to catch it all the way up in Victoriaville one time.
Oh, we get up.
Which is,
according to Canada, there's 225,000 people in our broadcast zone.
Nice.
And since 88-9 in Drummondville stopped broadcasting, we get out almost to Quebec City in a car.
Yeah.
So it's,
well, yeah,
very, very long range.
Yeah, because I remember at my parents' place out in St. Felix, when 188.9 from Drummondville was broadcasting, it was interference.
Yeah.
As soon as they shut down, no more interference. It was clear as if we're in Lennoxville almost. So yeah, the tower and the antenna are located in Fleury-Mont, which you can almost see from here. Right where that red dot is. Yes. Question.
One of those items there's
Yep.
about 2007 stops accepting Bishop's SRC students.
Yeah, that one right there. Yeah.
They stopped offering it, or
Nope.
there was a reason?
It was just us that we went to the SRC and basically informed them that we wouldn't be accepting it anymore. And yeah, it's just because this we found that for the money the students it didn't really bring anything to them for that money, so why keep charging them for it? That's when we were heading more towards a community radio station anyways, instead of student. So that was a simultaneous decision at the same time to stop that and go more community.
Another factor was that before, when we were accepting student ladies to begin with, we didn't have any government grants back then. So we were functioning solely off of the student levies for a very long time. And then when David started becoming station manager and took over the station, he got some pretty significant government grants over time. So again, we no longer had to use the money from the students either.
Yeah.
That was another reason.
Yeah.
And do you have an audience of Bishop students still?
More now than at the time, I would say. I think it's a lot more now, listeners, now that because at the time of that was 2007, it says? Yeah, 2007. There was kind of a transition period for what we were playing on the air and stuff like that, and our listenership had started going down a bit for the students, I mean, not for the locals. And now with what we play now, we have a lot more student listeners than we did before because we're playing more top 40s and stuff like that. So it's gone up, not a huge amount because there's not that many students at Bishops, but it used to be, because we can see that with just the people starting to come in to like to do that teacher that want to do that show, and a few students and stuff talk to David about it. But yeah, we do have a lot more now than back then. Yes. So.
And there is no Bishop's ratings.
No.
Not as it was. No, technically CJMQ is still Radio Bishops Inc. But on campus, there's no more radio station. No, because it was pretty much us. So
if you really tried to set up internet streaming,
there was an internet, yeah, but that didn't work out so well.
I don't know if it's still playing on internet.
Don't know.
No, but as far as Bishops goes, well, I'll get to that in the station manager's report.
Yeah.
All right.
So followed by.
So that's where the antenna is,
Mhm.
and the picture of the actual antenna from Google Maps.
Yep.
Little red dot.
Yep, that little red dot. We're basically right here.
I probably want to indicate that on there too, huh?
Yeah. Well, I can point.
Where it says Linuxville down there, yeah.
Yeah, right about this bend here is where we are. And the antenna is right there.
On the mountain, it's there.
Yeah, which I can actually see from my apartment.
So that's on top of the mountain.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And there's the CBC tower. Basically, the CBC owns the tower. Station on as well. Yeah, exactly.
Which direction is our antenna pointed exactly, David? That'd be interesting too.
I think it's more.
Which direction is our antenna pointed exactly?
Our antenna is pointed
Upwards.
Yeah, basically, pretty much.
It's pointed roughly in the direction of Linuxville. And it is one that's
around. Yeah.
What it really does though is it transmits 1,000 watts on vertical and 1,000 on horizontal. And that's to catch car radio antennas, which are oriented like this, or mostly house antennas, which are oriented like that.
Mhm.
This seems to be working very well for us. Very well.
Yeah. All right, next slide. Okay, past year numbers. Everybody loves numbers. Broadcast area, well, 300,000 potential listeners, which was close to what David mentioned, which is, well,
he was being conservative.
Yeah, well, and the number he gave was before they closed down Drummondville station. Yeah. Over 736 hours locally produced spoken word content. That's a lot. Musical content, 57% Canadian musical content. 52% pop, rock, dance, 17% country. Now, if you're wondering where we get all these numbers, we actually have stats on this, so that we have to keep it for the government, basically. So that's why how we can give fairly precise on this.
Those are very precise numbers.
Very precise numbers. 86% of what we play is mostly new content, which new content would you consider it their last couple months? I think it is new content.
New content, like new as it comes out.
Okay, so yeah.
Very, very current.
So we have a good rotation, basically. That's basically what that's saying. And 51% of it is new Canadian content. Well, 51% of the 86% is new Canadian content, which for us is, big important thing is to play mostly Canadian contents. And 42% of what we play is hits, so which are Canadian. Followed by average of 111 ad plays per day. Per day, which is we got good a lot of advertising potential in there. Over 186 community events announced, which the community events, if I remember, they're announced. Are those the ones that are announced for free, right? The community events, yeah. There's no charge for community events. 57 unique interviews broadcast on air and online, which all the interviews we do are pretty much available online. Is that all year that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not our.
It's not our most visited spot. I think our Facebook is more visited than their.
It's not our audience.
Yeah.
Targeted
Right here,
audience.
the 1,229 website visitors. We don't have a lot of people to visit the website in a year. Again, more people will go to the Facebook here. We do have an online stream. Average listener time is about 19 hours. So it's and we have up to 30 simultaneous. We can have up to 30.
No, we've had up to 30.
Oh, we've had up to. Sorry, I thought that was our maximum.
We can go up to like 100 or something.
Oh, wow, that's nice. Our operational budget is about $100,000 per year, which, as you see here, was $25,000 in 2001.
That's what I was saying about the student levies and the government grants.
Yeah, so the student levies wouldn't have helped with this amount much. It's roughly 99.93% on air, which is
not roughly. That's precisely.
Precisely. Sorry. Yes.
I calculated it last night.
Nice.
To the second.
Okay. So we have a lot better than back in this time period because of the whole changes that we made, and that's where the operational budget comes in a lot of into effect. That we have notifications if the station goes off air, which really rarely happens. We have backup systems, backup stations.
Mainly due to maintenance.
Yeah.
It's like CBC
Yeah.
role too.
Yeah, and there was a few times this year where it was power outages, but we fixed that problem. So automatically switches now. All right, so
Do you know what your listenership?
actual listenership, unfortunately, it's we don't know the actual listenership. An old report, but it's because it's a pay report and it's expensive.
Estimates because we can tell where someone's actually tuned in or not, and we can't afford to pay for the DBM, which are the ones that radio stations usually use, and in fact, they have stopped covering English stations at all. So we have really no way of knowing other than anecdotally. So we do hear from people, and the last estimate we did hear, I think, was, if I remember right, something like 3,000 listener hours per week or something like that, I forget, but it's old figures. I know that since then, it has increased a lot.
Yeah.
Judging by people who talk to us.
Yeah, because the report for that would be roughly our operational budget. That amount. Yeah. It's fairly expensive to get those reports, and mostly it's only the big stations that can afford to get it, unfortunately.
The best way to know is to do something stupid on air and you hear about it right away.
True. That's true.
No, there's no technical way of letting know.
No,
Other than
unfortunately.
doing surveys and
Yeah.
things like that. Yeah.
Maybe if they switch, when they do get a switch over to digital, there might be a way, but as it is for analog, there's impossible
It's
to
just a
find out.
broadcast, and whoever picks up the signal.
Yeah, there's no signal coming back.
Yeah.
If there was, that'd be awesome, but unfortunately not.
Yeah, even with digital, I'm not sure there's a signal coming back. So
Oh, yeah, you're right.
it'd be hard to
It's still
track.
broadcast. Yeah.
Even satellite radio, I'm not sure there's a.
Oh, satellite, yeah, you're right. No, there is nothing with satellite. Yeah.
There's no technical.
We would love to know exactly how much there is. That would be really nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that the government was looking at, but it's not going to happen anytime
The government was
soon.
actually looking at forcing everybody to go to digital.
Yeah. That's why we have to. We mentioned it, but I don't see it happening anytime soon, just because of not only on our side the complications, but most pretty much every car in the radio, every radio where most people listen to radio is all analog. They don't support digital, so it would be very costly on that side for the consumers.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so next slide. Now,
These are the
our
people
ad
that,
sponsors,
yeah.
right? Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
So this is some of the ad sponsors we had in the past year, which it's like some more well-known ones around the area, like well, both ones I know really well. The Trophy Club, that's the gym. Township Sun, where everybody's heard of them for sure. Spa Bolton, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people have heard of. Holy Manor, that one there is. This is the second year they're taking ads with us? Or third year? Yeah, second year. The Government of Canada, Government of Quebec, the Family Tree in Lennoxville. Domino's Pizza is one of our longest running advertisers. They've been since, wow, the 90s, I think it was. Yeah, the owner.
Since they opened, really.
Yeah.
In Sherbrooke, yeah.
Yeah, since he opened in Sherbrooke, yeah, Corey has been a really big fan of CJMQ and community outreach in general. Another one that's been around for quite a while with their Valley Street Ford ads. And Lenny Denny, Honda, local boys are Shalimar as well. Pretty big. So that's, as you can see, we've got quite a few. These are the recurring ones. I don't think you really put the ones I took like one ad out.
Yeah, they're all in there.
They're all in there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Everybody who
cool.
supported us is in there.
Nice, nice. Well, yeah, so that's the majority of our advertising. Yep, go ahead. Feel free. Everybody else knows the answers anyway, so if you got questions, it's best time to ask. Yes. A little bit of both. Mostly, it's David who's been doing our advertising sales. He'll go to businesses in the area, see if they want to take some ads. That's where a lot of these newer ones came from. Like the Hobie Manor, I think it was you that went to see them, right? Yeah, the Hobie Manor was David went to go see them. Well, pretty much all of them, but except for the ones that have been forever, because I think Domino's was even before David started at the station. They've been advertising with them. No, around the same time. Maybe? Yeah. Okay, yeah. So yeah, this is so David would go to them with an offer showing this is how much it would cost and everything, and then they decided to take ads or not. But some of them I think have called up.
Yes.
And like I think Blue Seal is one that contacted you guys because Jen's been doing stuff at the station for quite a while.
Oh, that's been so long.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to tell who did what, eh? But yeah, there's a few of them that. So it's mostly David going out, but there are some that have contacted us to advertise. But yeah.
In the local restaurants, other than.
Yeah, there's Shalimar. I think it's pretty much only well, besides Domino's too, but Domino's is the. I think Shalimar is really the only real restaurant that's in Lennoxville. Yeah. It's the only one that still keeps staying around that doesn't shut down and another place take its place.
Pretty much.
Yeah, yeah. Although you might want to look at Rima.
Maybe Rima, yeah.
Sebi's. Yeah, I don't know. Have you ever tried the Sebi's?
A couple of times.
Yeah, they're very quick. I love that. Suspect scam. Yeah. Telemarketer. So, yeah, although Rima, yeah, you should check with the Rima guys. They're at the Green Bakery, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think David has tried them. It's just most of them don't have the budget for it or don't feel like
that's the problem. I don't think they're making a lot of money to begin with, those restaurants, but
no, but Shalimar, again, they've been around forever and yeah. Yep.
The Gold Line has taken a couple ads in the past.
Yep.
These are from the last year specifically.
Yeah, specifically last year, yeah. So like the year before, I can't remember who else. There was one the year before. I can't remember who it was. But yeah, no, we have like I said, Dave starts basically with the businesses in Lennoxville and works his way out because this is where we want to be is in Lennoxville. It's the English community to start with.
They did take an ad a few times with us and announced a few times.
Yeah.
Depends on the events and stuff.
They'll usually do regular, like they'll come and they'll go. Depends on the timing.
I think that they fit more under community events too, because a lot of the stuff they would take an ad for at the ETSB would be. Was it ETSB you said? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I'm saying like, did you say ETSB or ETFS? No, ETSB is mostly going to be like little events, which we don't charge for ads for that.
They did have a budget at one time.
Yeah.
Something specific and.
Yeah, when they have specific programs or projects, they'll take ads for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just to advertise, so Uber needs to have a tour. And people would be interested, for example, in New Horizons, Apple did.
Sure.
Yeah, New Horizons, they did take an ad a few times with us.
Yeah, just not in the past year, unfortunately.
we had Vision this year.
Oh yeah, Vision.
Vision is new this year.
The Vision's cool,
last year.
That's true, yeah. No, in Multicom, yeah, they're local. Forgot about them. All right. Reported the station manager. David, do you have any slides for that, or is that just...
No, there's no slides for David.
All right, I'll sit down now. Oh, I'll let David take over.
You're going to stay from there, David? I'll turn the microphone around for you.
Okay.
Sorry, you can sit.
Over the past year, we have reached out to a lot of organizations, trying to get more involvement, and it's worked somewhat. We have more people, actually yourself, doing a show on movies. That's excellent. Also, we've done some work with Radio Canada to have technical help from them, and that has worked out very well. They've helped us, and that's very appreciated. So every little bit helps. We've mostly been trying to remain steady at what we're doing and doing more community outreach. And the more we do of that, the more it comes back and pays dividends. So we're looking for improvements in the situation over the next year, probably. You have to plant the seeds and wait for them to grow. Also, we're planning to do, well, we do a lot of interviews. We're planning to do even more interviews. We have a lot of community events that Maureen announces every single week, free of charge for not-for-profits. That's something that more and more organizations are taking advantage of, and something that we're really proud to do. In dealing with the literacy in action, that quite a few people tune in to CJMQ to know what's going on in the community, people who have trouble reading. They can hear what's going on, and they can make up their schedule for the upcoming week. So it's a service we didn't realize was being used that way, but it's something that we're really proud that we're able to do. The Word of Grace is another thing that we've been keeping going, although there's been some trouble with the Word of Grace. We are committed to it. We're going to keep it going. We are. The church is very happy about that.
What church are you talking about?
Yeah, what's the name of the church? I keep forgetting. It's the Presbyterian one on there.
Yeah, St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church. Word of Grace has been going on air on one station or another for 48 years. And this past year, it was iffy if it would be able to keep going. We stepped in and said, no, we're going to keep it going anyway, regardless. So that's a service that people tune into every week to be able to hear a religious broadcast when they can't get out and go to church. So we have a lot of people in homes that listen to it. A lot of people really appreciate it. It's something that we want to absolutely keep going for our community. We've done a lot of work like that, and I think basically the station is getting stronger every year, more stable, more connected. It's just to keep going.
That's good. Thank you, David. So next, I hand it over to James for the financial report.
Financial report. Get your pillows out.
It should be financial report.
Financial report. Nice one, Terry. Welcome, late arriver. You're just on time for the best part.
All right.
All right, so here we go. Here are the numbers from 2017.
Put your glasses on, Dad.
For anybody who's not familiar with our financial report, this is the current year is in bold here in this column, and the previous years are in the other columns, and it goes back to 2010 in this sheet. We have all the other years, of course, before that. So this is for comparison reasons. You can see right away that the revenue each year is pretty stable. It's like we said in our presentation, it's around $100,000 per year income. The sources vary a little bit over the years, not by much, but it comes out to be about that. So this year's figures for government grants was 61,801. National advertising was 9,456. That's up quite a bit from the previous year, but in the year before that, we were used to an amount more similar to that. So we're happy it's back up again.
Yeah.
Local advertising is pretty much the same, steady for the last 3 years. Before that, it was higher because David was putting a lot more effort into it, but it was also a very, very big job for him, and he didn't have time to do everything, so he had to cut somewhere. So we have it down to an amount that we're comfortable with for the amount of work that David has to put into it. So that's at 29,176. After that's miscellaneous revenues, 1,526, bringing the total to 101,959 for revenues for 2017. After that, we get into expenses. So they're not in order of amount. The bigger ones are obviously rent for the location that we're at. That doesn't include the tower rent, which is a separate bill for the tower on the hill. Rent is pretty steady. We were able to renegotiate a couple times over the past few years to try and get it down with our landlord, and it's turned out to be fruitful for us. So it's down a bit, at 14,528. Salaries and payroll is always a pretty high figure for any business. It's pretty steady the last couple of years. It's at 38,025 this year, 37,754 last year, and it's been less in previous years because we've given more hours and more salary over the years. So that's why it's going up a bit. Contracts and commissions, that varies back and forth depending on what's going on. This year it was 1,239, down from last year. Telecommunications expenses, which includes our phone lines for the radio station, internet fees. It includes the phone lines going to the tower from Lennoxville to the tower at Florimo Hill. There's 2 phone lines going there, which are quite expensive. So that's what that covers. That's 11,230, down a bit from the previous year. Apart from that, tower rent, 7,617 this year. That's up a bit from the previous years. That also includes electricity at the tower as well for our equipment that we have up there. Next is insurance. Insurance is for the actual organization itself. It covers the tower as well. It covers the people that work at the station. It covers the board members and stuff like that. It's a pretty steady amount. It fluctuates a bit. 7,866 this year, down a little tiny bit from last year. Not a big difference. Health insurance for employees, that's 3,696. That's a steady amount each year. Doesn't really change. No miscellaneous supplies this year. Travel and vehicle expenses, which mostly just includes gas, really, or any trips that people might go on for the station, yeah, but for conventions and forums and stuff like that, congressions, etc. Sometimes David takes the plane and goes off to somewhere for a specific cause, if there's something special going on. So, like I said, it mostly covers gas, though, for trips that are within the province or close. So it's a pretty constant amount over the last 3 years, 1,626 this year. After that, electricity, which is the electricity we pay at the station. It's down a bit this year, which is good. We've managed to make a few changes that have saved us a bit of cash. So that's down to 2,564 from about 3,000 something the previous years. After that, maintenance and repairs. Any repairs we have to do at the station. That's never a really significant amount. $746 this year. After that, memberships and contributions that the station pays to other organizations. These are not a revenue, these are an expense. So we pay ARCQ membership, SOCAN fees for royalties for the music that we play on air. There's another one, NRC, what's the other one? NCRA, that's another one we pay as well.
Neighboring rights, they all come under that.
Exactly. And we noticed ourselves that the amount was up significantly this year when we were going over this. And the reason why is because SOCAN has been not sending us a bill for the past couple of years. The bill has been much lower than, for some reason, I guess there was changes at SOCAN that happened, and the person that was taking care of community radio stations changed positions or something, and nobody took over their position, and then there was a gap. So they caught up this year. So they sent us a big bill, and we paid it off. So we're happy to have that done.
Yeah, we're finally.
So it's up to 4,560, but the next year it's going to be back down again, probably to around these numbers over here.
Yeah.
So the next one on the list is office supplies. Again, that amount can vary quite a bit per year. This year it's at 1,431. Last year it was almost nothing, so it just depends on if we have to restock, stuff like that. Promotion, this is stuff that we pay, like if we put an ad in the record or something like that. We don't invest very much in that per year, so it's at 136, which is pretty constant over the past couple of years as well. Apart from that, professional fees, any professional
accounting, lawyer.
Yeah, the accounting goes into there as well. Yeah, accounting, lawyer, stuff like that. This is probably just the accounting per year, 1,820, which is down from previous years, which is good. After that, bank fees and interest, which if you're late on a payment or if you don't pay the credit card or something like that in the full amount per month, then the interest will carry over. So that's up a bit. We've been through a bit of a couple financial struggles once in a while. So we couldn't pay out the credit card entirely each time, but we did make the minimum payment. So there was a bit of interest that accumulated there. So that's 1,677. After that, music expenses. This is stuff if we download a song from iTunes or something like that, it costs like $1 or something. That fits into this category. So that's 223. Postage fees, nothing. That has been over the past years. Entertainment expenses, that covers AGM, meetings that the board has, stuff like that. It doesn't mean that people are going out partying and getting paid for it. So that was 979, pretty constant the amount over the years as well. Doesn't fluctuate very much. Apart from that, there was no legal fees this year. So yeah, there's a separate category for legal fees. Nothing for the past few years, which is a good sign. We don't want anything legal fees if we can avoid it. Apart from that, sound equipment purchases, that's once again can fluctuate quite a bit depending on what we're doing, or if some equipment breaks down or something like that, it needs to be replaced. Yeah, if we're installing some new equipment for some reason, can include stuff at the tower and the station. So that's at 746 this year, and after that, that's pretty much it. So the expenses come up to a total amount of 100,709, which is pretty close to our revenue, which gives us a income this year of 1,250. So a little tiny bit of income there, which was at a small loss last year. And that can fluctuate quite a bit from what we see from previous years as well. Sometimes it goes down a bit or a lot. In this situation, it goes back up. Just depends on how the year turns out. We try to budget for it though and do our best. So that brought our bank balance as of August 31st, which is our closing of our financial period, to 18,845. And currently, as of yesterday, I think it is, it sits at 6,857. It's getting down to the uncomfortable point. Anywhere around 5,000 or less, we start getting a bit antsy. But usually the check from the government comes in not too long after, and we can get back on track. The next check is coming up when, David, exactly? Do you know?
This month.
This month, so there you go. So we'll be able to live off of this no problem for the next month. And then each check is about 15,000? 30. So it's 2 checks of 30,000? Yeah.
Yes.
Which government branches do you get the grants from?
It's one particular. Which government branch do we get the Quebec? Yeah, the provincial.
Provincial, national currency.
No.
City at all. Not even break on the taxes.
Yeah, we tried. Yeah.
Which envelope does it come from?
For the government, the municipal, which we get communication. The same as the township sun. Every community station and community paper gets a certain amount from the stat every year.
Well, there's a bit of hoops to jump through to get that. To get a certain, the more hoops you jump through, the more money you get. So that's why we get more than some stations. Some stations get more than us.
It depends on how often how many hours on the air you have, how much original broadcasting you have, how much local content, things like that. We're in the highest bracket.
Depends on your license as well.
No, yeah,
depends on the license as well, the class of license you have.
Exactly.
We're Class A, so yeah.
Yeah, we're in the highest classification, so we're all right.
Yeah.
So your total, it's not on the screen anymore, the total amount from government funding.
Oh, government.
Oh yeah, that's above, yeah.
That's 61,800.
61,801, yeah.
Yeah.
It's gone down some.
Yeah, it's because sometimes what it is there's other little projects we do with the government. Like one year we had what was it, the newscaster budget.
Yeah. Yes.
Another year was like little tiny projects,
a journalist
budget. Well, that was newscaster.
Not quite the same.
Oh no, they were different. Yeah, you're right, they were different. But so it's like little projects. That's what makes a big difference. The amount we get from the main amount that we get usually doesn't fluctuate a lot. It'll fluctuate by a couple $100. So, but
if we go back quite a bit actually.
Yeah, like that one year was 81,000.
It's been about 60,000, yeah, constantly. But yeah, there was 81,000 because that year they decided to give us like a $15,000 extra check for some reason. I guess
that was the year of the news.
Predicting it was going to go up or something like that.
And the other variation that comes into it is that the government votes a certain package of money to community radio stations in the province. If some stations have ceased to exist, it makes it a little bit more for the others. Unfortunately, I'd rather see the stations stay alive.
Yeah.
And the next is, I don't know, like the right losses.
Yeah, the biggest numbers at local advertising.
Yeah.
Which is really.
Yeah, that one there, yeah, it stays more or less the same with the, well, with the local advertisers, basically, yeah.
That's the ads that David actually goes out and gets for the station, or people that renew the ads they have already.
Yeah, but it's newer advertisers. We still have our regulars, but it's a good cycle that we have the regulars and then the new ones who sometimes become regulars.
You have about 10 regulars that renew every year, and the rest fluctuates quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. All right,
so apart from the numbers, I have a few pie charts. I mean, they're not very special or anything, but it gives a nice little visual representation of what Melanie was kind of asking, where the biggest chunks come from.
Plus, James loves his pie charts.
Everybody loves pie.
Not charts.
Just not the charts.
Yeah.
So you can see very clearly the big blue glob is from government grants, and the this beige one over here, I'm not sure if it's beige on that screen yet, is local advertising. So, and the other chunk comes from national advertising, and obviously miscellaneous, whatever little donations or whatever we get goes into there. So it does not represent a huge amount of our budget. I have the previous year down here, and then obviously it's very similar.
Pretty much the same.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah.
That doesn't change very much over the years. And the same thing for the expenses. These are a little bit harder to follow because there's a few more slices in here.
A lot.
But as you'll see, I mean, if I look at the two, I mean, almost the same. Like it's
salaries and payroll.
Almost a replica picture from the year before.
Yeah. Yeah.
So biggest chunks is rent, like I said, the salaries and payrolls, telecommunications expenses. Like I said, the phone lines going to the tower are quite expensive. We have 2 or 3 phone lines for the station, like actual.
Yeah, those cost
phone
nothing
lines
compared
for
to
the
the station ones.
Yeah, the ones going to the tower are the primary.
Yeah.
So insurance for the station is quite expensive too, about $10,000. So that's a big chunk. Budget. That's the financial part. After that, we'll get into the budget. Unless anybody has any questions about the numbers anymore. Anybody?
You apply every year for the government grants? Or
No, not every year. Sometimes it's every 3 years.
What?
The government grants.
The renewal is every 3 years for us.
Yeah, it's renewed every 3 years.
But I think that depends on.
Like you say, sometimes it's only 1 year. It chooses whether they'll renew everyone for 1 or for 3, but it's always everyone's treated the same.
Yeah.
Why they change, I don't know.
All radio stations.
Yeah. Yeah, and the last 2 times I think it's been 3 years, but the time before that was 1 year. I remember there was a time where it was 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they changed, but they do something.
I think there was a change in the government itself, the party that was in power.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was the Parti Québécois that got in power that year. That
Maybe, yeah.
they probably wanted a chance to readjust things while they were in there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
All right.
Any other questions?
Yeah. No.
Nobody?
Okay.
All right. We'll need a motion to approve the financial statement.
The financial report. Yeah.
Financial report, yes.
Matt? And someone second? Raymond?
Yeah.
Cool.
So
All those in favor?
yeah.
I forgot the part.
Sure.
All those in favor? Perfect. Anybody opposed? Good. Just wanted to be over.
Okay. Thanks, Phil.
You're welcome, James.
This one's not much more interesting, unfortunately, but we have to go through it. Budget for the next year. So we have here in this column the budget that we had forecasted for this year. The actual numbers from this, well, yeah, so that's what I mean, last year. From last year. The difference that came up between the budget and the actual numbers, and then our new budget for the next year. So I call it next year.
Mm.
So it's all the same categories. We have all the same amounts that you just saw in the previous financial report. So we'll go through it. Government grants, well, it's like we said, it's a pretty constant figure, so we kept it the same. National advertising, again, we kept it the same. Local advertising, it went down a bit, so we adjusted it from 35,000 to 30,000 based on the actual figure that came in.
Over expecting.
Yeah, exactly. Either better to forecast for less income than predicted. So after that miscellaneous, there was more this year, so we put an average between. We predicted 500, we got 1,526, so we put it at 1,000. Apart from that, memberships, we predicted $200, so we put it at $200 as well. We didn't get anything, and we're actually going to drop the membership fees entirely in the next part of the AGM coming up. So we probably want to put this to zero, actually.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
This amount here.
Make a profit of $200 this year.
So we'll have the balance of this, so I can just put it in miscellaneous. This.
There you go.
And that'll balance it out at the end. There we go. Yeah. All right. So next up, oh yeah, right. Sorry. So yeah, total revenue budgeted is 106,200. Expenses. So rent, we went down because we renegotiated with the landlord. So it came out to be about 15,000 this year. So that's what we put. A bit down from last year, 16,000. Not a big difference. Every bit helps. 1,000 here, 1,000 there. That's pretty fast.
Oh yeah.
Salaries and payrolls pretty constant, kept the same, 40,000. Contracts and commissions was down quite a bit over the past few years, so we readjusted. We were forecasting for 4,000. It was actually only 1,239, so we put it down to 1,500. Telecommunications expenses, once again, it was down a bit, so we put it down as well. We predicted 14, it came out to be 11,230, so we put it down to 11,500. Hopefully it will stay around there. Tower rent, it went up from what we forecasted. Well, it was more anyways than what we forecasted, which was 6,500, so it's up to 7,617. So we put it at 8,000.
Yeah, that was because of the hydro that was included. That changes. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, the hydro was previously. No, that doesn't include the hydro for the tower, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
It didn't before. That's why we budgeted at 6,500.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then we go to negotiate in the middle of the year.
Exactly. Right. So tower rent did not previously include electricity. They actually didn't charge us for electricity at all. They were actually just giving it to us for free. And in our most recent contract, we renegotiated with the CBC Radio Canada. We tried really hard to keep it so that we wouldn't have to pay electricity because it did increase it by about $1,000 for us, and they refused multiple times because we actually tried multiple times. So we had no choice but to accept. But I believe they did give us a discounted rate. So they say. Yeah. So that was what we negotiated with them. So we budgeted 8,000. It was at 76.17 this year. So we have a little buffer there. Insurance for the station, for the board and everything. Pretty constant amount. Kept it at 8,000. Health insurance again is a very constant amount, 4,000. Miscellaneous supplies, we always keep a little reserve for that, $500. Yeah, we put $500 down, so keep it that way as well. So the electricity, we forecasted 3,000 for the next year. Maintenance and repairs, we always keep a little amount for that too. So 1,000 for that. Fixed contributions and royalties, which is like we said, SoCan, it was up a lot higher than, we don't know how much it's going to be exactly next year. We're probably expecting more around 3,000, but we don't want to be too conservative either, so we'll leave it at 4 to be safe. 2,200 because they didn't have problems on their end. So we put up 4,000 for membership contributions and royalties. Office supplies, usually it's been lower. This year it was higher, so we put it in between. So we had predicted 500. It was 1,431, so we put 1,000. Advertising and promotion, yeah, we keep a little amount for that. Doesn't vary very much either, but it has been under 500 quite a bit over the past few years. So we put it down from 500 to 200. It's usually been around under that amount, $200. Yeah. This includes the accounting mostly. We predicted 3,000 because it was higher in previous years. I know there's been some changes at the accounting firm that we deal with as well in terms of the people that work there, and I don't know if the owners have changed either or something like that, but There have been changes on their end as well, so it's a bit cheaper for us this year. Hopefully, it will stay that way. So it was more around 2,000, so we put at 2,000. Bank fees and interest, it was up higher than we would have liked at 1677. We were hoping it would be at 1,000 or lower. So we put it at 1,500 to keep a little bit more realistic on that as well. Music expenses, like I said, iTunes purchases, stuff like that. We keep a little amount for that. 300, it was 223, so we kept it at 300. Postage fees, we just keep a little reserve for that as well, $200. There was nothing this year, nothing in some previous years as well. A little tiny amount, no big deal. Entertainment expenses, like I said, it does not to cover partying. It covers
the rental of this building.
AGM. It covers meetings that we have. It covers trips to people go on for the station. It was around $1,000 this year. We had actually projected that much, so we kept it the same. $1,000. Sound equipment purchases, same thing. We had predicted around 1,000. It was 746, so we kept it at 1,000. And the last one on the budget is community projects, and these are stuff that we do as a station for the community specifically. So it can include stuff that we give away as promotional items. It can include Friendship Day, Canada Day, all those events. So any expenses for those go into this budget. We didn't really participate in any of those events because of resource problems on our end, timing, stuff like that. We don't have a lot of volunteers either at the moment. So it's hard for us to participate in those events, unfortunately, or hold events at the station itself, like a barbecue or something, to promote the station. It's a lot of work, and we don't have the manpower, unfortunately. So, well, not last year anyway. So there was no expense for that last year. We had already reserved $2,000 in the budget for it, though, and so we put it down to $1,000 this year, hoping that we might actually do some projects. So that's it for the expenses. That brings the expenses to the same as the revenues to balance the budget, $106,200. So that's it for the budget.
Any questions?
Anybody have any questions?
No.
Any comments or anything?
All right. Next slide.
We will need
we need
to approve the budget for the next year.
Yeah. So yeah, David.
David moves.
Anyone second? Patsy. All those in favor? Perfect. All right. So now the next slide. Sorry.
For the budget, the entire financial report.
Yes, it does.
Save.
Yes. That would suck. You made those changes.
It is saved. Good.
So next, Board of Directors elections. This year here, my term is up and the term of Terry is up as well. So I'm trying to remember what we did last year.
You need a motion for each one of you.
A motion for each one of us. Okay. Good.
And you have to say that you want to be on.
Yes.
And serve for the next 2 years.
Serve for the next 2 years, yeah. So basically, yeah. So I'll have Terry start.
Oh, nicely done.
I know. I'm delegating to the vice president to start.
Copy paste.
Exactly.
I'll see what he says. So yeah, my term is up. I'd like to renew for 2 years to be the.
Well, let you
just be on the board.
On the board, yeah. The position gets voted later, unfortunately.
All right.
Everybody's on the board as credit. It's just the board.
There's only four.
We have 4 of us, so we all have a title, yeah. And sometimes people actually have 2 titles if it happens that we have
we're
less.
more blacking people. So
yeah. See, at one point, Andrew was the vice president and secretary. Yeah, we have 2. There's technically supposed to be a maximum of 10 board members. 6 board members. It's just we keep having trouble filling those last 2 spots.
You know what? I'm going to correct this right now.
Yeah,
because next year it's probably going to be in there again. He's actually just the secretary this year.
Yes.
There we go. Fixed. Hey, save.
Good boy. So yeah, there's actually more positions available. It's just we don't have anybody to fill them, unfortunately.
We do try to talk to people and convince people to join the board, and we run ads on the air, and people come in once in a while and express their interest, and
then
they understand what it entails, and then, well, that wasn't quite what I had in mind. I was hoping to do like programming, change the programming and stuff like that. We're like, no.
No, we don't deal with the day-to-day stuff.
Being a board member doesn't mean changing the program at the station or being an on-air host or something like that. It has to do with the administrative side of things. So that kind of, okay, maybe not.
We have no say of what goes on air. We have no say what goes on air. basically. So if someone decides they want to join the board, which has happened before, because they want to hear more country music, that we have no power for that. We're not the station. We're not the programming manager. That's the program manager's job.
The board also has to approve anybody who applies as a new board member, and if we can judge that they don't have the intentions, the best intentions for the best of the station, then we refuse the.
Yeah, but that's only happened once.
Yeah,
because not many people have actually applied lately. We try, but yeah.
We've had many people do interviews, but like I said, after they find out what it entails, because during the interview we kind of explain also what we're about and what the position's about and everything. And then, oh yeah, meeting in which month? I don't know if I can make it. It's like, okay.
It's once a
couple
month.
hours a month. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, every month.
Board, yeah. Not an AGM. We have just the
regular
board meeting once a month.
Essentially, it's a working board. Everybody's expected to take on some tasks.
Yep.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Meeting once a month.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. We have tasks. We actually have to-do lists and stuff like that.
The volunteers too.
Yeah, we do. We actually do a lot of volunteering at the station as well. Yeah, like basically all the technical stuff is done by 3 of us. Andrew does a lot of. Well, you did some on-air stuff. You helped with the fundraising we did with the piggery.
Mm-hmm.
So more of the documentation side of things. That's one way to put it. So yeah, so we all volunteer in our own time as well. So yeah.
So Terry has nominated himself.
Well, no, you can't nominate yourself.
Well, he could. We need a mover and a seconder, though.
Yes. Yes. Oh yes, you're right. He can.
You can nominate yourself. You just can't approve yourself.
Yes.
And you can't vote either.
Okay, so we'll need someone to move. That's not a board member.
That Terry become a member. Well, renew his term.
Renew his term as the board of directors. So Raymond, and we need a seconder. Patsy. And all those in favor? Anybody opposed?
Matt didn't put his hand up, so not quite sure.
He's abstaining.
Not opposed.
All right. So, congratulations, Terry. Yep.
The vote went through. Phil, we're not so quite sure. We'll see how it goes.
That's a little iffy there. Right?
Would you like to nominate yourself, Phil?
No. I mean, yes. No, yes.
If you do not wish to nominate yourself, I'll nominate you, Phil.
Thanks, James.
Fourth nomination.
I'm never getting out. No. Yes, I would like to renew my term for 2 years. I'm board member. Yeah. Anybody? Well, I'll have to have the vote. David. Okay.
Moved already.
Anybody second?
I guess he likes you after.
It's kind of hard to. I'm suggesting I renew and then asking for seconders and nominators because
something's fixed here.
There's a conflict of interest in that, but.
I'm going to say that either your parents seconding this or moving this might be a conflict of interest.
Yes, that's the problem. You two can't vote back there. Oh, Maureen can. Maureen can. Well, you can vote, but you can't move. Maureen seconds. It's true. You made a good
Just wanted to point that out.
Yes, you're right. They are my parents. That would be a conflict of
They're going to
interest.
be the ones that are opposed.
Yeah, that's true. They might be the ones that say no. All right. All those in favor? Anybody opposed? No. All right. Perfect. So next slide. That covers that. We'll do it again next year with you and Andrew if you guys decide, and maybe new people.
No,
hopefully new people.
We realize we have no choice.
I know.
I don't think. I didn't put a slide in for the Constitution amendments, so we probably will do that.
Oh yeah, bring up the because we made some changes afterwards. Now we're going on to the next part, which was the constitutional amendments, which is basically we're changing how we deal with memberships. So basically, not memberships here, but memberships for the community memberships.
For the organization.
Yeah, for the organization. We're actually planning on removing the fee, basically. Removing the fee, and then we're changing also the quorum
for general meetings.
Mm-hmm. So first things first, this is what the admissibility criteria is currently to be a member. You must be 18 years of age or older. Must make a request to the board in proper and due form asking for the status of a regular member of the organization to fill in a membership form to this effect. Basically, it's just a little membership paper. Yeah, it's not really much to it. It sounds more official than it is. Must pay an annual membership fee and must have their membership approved by the board. Must comply with all other non-discriminatory conditions deemed useful and indicated in this constitution. Again, more technical than it must be. So the part that we want to change is must pay the annual membership fee.
Remove it.
We're going to be removing it completely because it's not something we make money off of. We never have time to do fundraising drives for membership drives. I mean, and it's just to get more. It might encourage more people to become members and volunteer more in the station is what we're hoping for. So to do this part here, we would actually need someone to make a motion that accepts the amendment to the
board has already approved these.
Yeah, the board has already approved these, but we actually to make them official, we need the members to approve the amendments. So we need someone to motion, someone to motion for the change. Raymond, and who would like to second? David. Okay. All those in favor of the change? Perfect. Anybody opposed? No. Perfect. So
that'd be interesting to see a member who'd be opposed to paying the membership.
Yeah. Someone opposed to. I want to give you money. No, but I mean, of course, we'll still accept donations, obviously. Yeah. Now, the next thing we need to change, because of, as you can see, there's not many people at the AGM this year, which is a very common occurrence. Not many people show up to the AGMs because they're long. That's one way to put it. And the financial report can put a lot of people to sleep. No offense to you, it's a lot of numbers.
Just a fact.
It's a fact. So what we're planning on doing is right now the quorum is a minimum number of members required to give the quorum at a general meeting shall be 10% of the organization's total membership in good standing. One main reason we're changing this from 10% to what we're about to mention, the next thing is, since we're removing the fee for membership, what's going to happen is we're going to have a lot more members, and that percentage is going to go up higher, and if we don't have enough people on AGM, we can't vote on anything.
Yeah,
that's going to be a big issue. Exactly. So we're going with a more manageable amount, which is the amended amount. The amended will be the minimum number of members required to have a quorum at a general meeting, which includes general meetings and annual general meetings. Shall be twice the number of active board members. So right now there's 4 board members. If to have quorum, we would need a total of 9 people. Yeah. So basically 4 board members plus normal members, so that they have the normal members have
the
majority vote. Thank you. So it's not one-sided. So that's the example we give here. For example, if there are 4 active board members, the quorum would be 9. Now, a little note: Robert's Rules states. Robert's Rules is a state of running board of directors stuff, basically. States that ex officio members, example station manager like David, should not be included in the account when determining the number of needed for quorum, and they should not be counted when determining if a quorum is present. So basically, Dave is an ex officio, so that means technically he's not counted in
the count of the number of board members.
That for next. That's only going to apply next year.
It's just there for reference purposes, so that people don't make a mistake of counting the station manager or any other ex officio board members that might be on the board.
Exactly.
As part of that quorum.
Yeah. Dave still does get a vote because he is a member, but he's not considered as a board of director member. So we need a motion to make the amendment to the quorum, which actually, if we do this, we'll make the quorum higher than what it is now. Right now, the quorum is 2 people. So, because we have, 20 active members, because, again, we had a fee. So this would actually bring increase the quorum to 9 members instead of 2, to make it a little bit more, seem a little bit more legitimate.
For the next general meeting, of course.
It's for the next general meeting or annual general meeting, which, again, is a lot less sketchy, is one way to say it. Because 2 people, it's like no one could show up and we'll still make a vote. That's not how we want it. We want it to be legitimate, so makes it more respectable. So we need someone to make a motion for this. Oh, I forgot your name. Melanie, sorry. So Melanie moves, and we need someone to second. David.
Oh, you beat your mom.
Yeah, by just a bit. No, I think my mom was just trying to hit Dad. All those in favor?
Or that fly going around.
Perfect. Anybody opposed? Perfect. So on to the next.
That's it for constitutional amendments.
Yeah, it's been a while since we actually made an amendment to the Constitution.
Yes, it has.
Yeah, quite a while.
The last time was actually in
2014? No, 2009.
2010.
10. Wow. 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Well,
That was the last time we made a change of our constitution.
oh, that's when we did the revamp of the Constitution.
No, that was in 2009.
Oh, that was okay. This was a change
We
of the
changed
quorum to
the quorum,
10%.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I remember why we had that meeting too, because we had a meeting to have new board members, and there wasn't quorum.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was that was a horrible thing. Yeah. So now we don't have to worry about that anymore. Perfect.
So this is the Constitution.
We're not going over the whole
it's-
thing, thankfully.
No, no,
Don't
no,
get
I
worried,
just wanna
people.
Show it to people that say it exists.
Yeah.
It's available on our website too, if somebody wants to go and read through all of it.
Yep.
It probably is very similar to many other nonprofit organization constitutions.
Mm-hmm. This was, I think we had a committee back in the day. It was took
Yeah, we
like
did, yeah.
months.
It's been revised. It was revised before that a couple times as well. But
Yeah, yeah. But the big
there was
that
a major rehaul in 2009 from the original constitutions.
Yeah, which was much needed stuff because there was a lot of stuff in there that didn't even pertain to the station anymore. All right, so next slide. Again, like we mentioned, we're always looking for new board members because again, everybody that tries to apply loses interest because of they think that it's like we're more for the big picture of the station and not the day-to-day running. Which makes sense because, we don't do this as a job. We don't know how a station runs for the day-to-day stuff. So there's no point in us managing what goes on air and stuff. Makes sense.
Well, when you say day to day, you're meaning programming more than
Yeah, programming, stuff like
managing volunteers.
Exactly. That's what I mean by day-to-day stuff. Yeah, it's not our job because that's not what we know. Of course, we're looking for salespeople, which is on a commission-based on-air hosts, which some of you here are obviously, volunteers and members. Which the members part is going to be really nice. Which I'm hoping we have a lot more next year because of the whole removing the fee, which a lot of people might start signing up more for more
I can
members.
make an online form too. People can just sign up online.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Post it on Facebook and everything.
Maybe.
Yeah, well, that's on the radio as well.
We can make an ad.
Mhm. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Good point. Good point. Yep. So, any other business? Anybody else got anything they want to mention about the station or?
Do you have an accounting firm that goes over the books annually?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what one of the biggest. That $1,800 was is an accounting firm that we deal with.
What do they come out with? Is it a form or?
I have it right here.
Yep.
My spreadsheet is basically just the key numbers because it's really it's the actual financial statements they send us.
Yes.
Lots of pages of all sorts of numbers that just confuse people.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're not audited per se. They're unaudited statements.
Yeah. But
we would get them audited if required only because auditing costs big money.
Yeah.
You have to annually.
Yeah, we have to send this to the government.
Do you have the same accounting firm do it, or is that?
Well, we made a motion once, I think that was a while back, and we're staying with the same one, but if we were to change, then we need a new motion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if we were to change accounting firms.
So yeah, this is the actual financial statements that we get from the accounting firm. They say that they've completed the statements and that it's to their best interest, the best knowledge, the accurate, but it's not audited.
Well, that's not approved.
That one there, no.
It's the same numbers in my report.
Pretty much. So
Which we approved.
Yeah.
At the,
Like I copy paste all these numbers into my spreadsheet to make it easier for people.
Yeah.
And I mean, expenses they put into schedules and I just put it all in one sheet. So it's easier to see.
And you corrected some categories they have off sometimes.
Like I had the bank balance and all that stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically what they send us, and James makes it more presentable.
Mm-hmm.
So it fits all mostly on one page.
That's pretty much it. Here's the expense schedules. The exact same thing I had in my sheet. That's it.
Yeah.
And they send us the actual entries themselves in a separate. It's kind of like I said. It's a mid-level. They don't give us the actual like individual tiny little amounts. They give us the accounts themselves.
But we send them everything so they can calculate that up. Yeah.
I have that here as well. So these are the actual accounts at the end of the year. if we wanted to know for a specific month or anything like that, we can always contact them and they can send us the actual entries for a specific month. This is obviously what you just saw summarized in the other document. It's a little bit more detailed, but doesn't have like each individual transaction of the year in there. So that's it. So yeah, the balance is 1250.
Another question? Yes.
In my list.
Sure. Well, pretty sure you'll have more. That's all right.
Is there an organization of community radio stations across Quebec or across Canada or across North America?
Mm-hmm. Did we get into that question?
Yeah, isn't that the ARCQ?
Organizations that we're affiliated with?
Yeah, for community radio stations across the country or provincially.
Which is the National Community and Campus Radio Association. There's ARCQ, which is the Association Communautaire de Québec. We're members of both. We don't necessarily need to be members of both, but there are advantages. So those are the two main broadcasting ones that we're members of.
Mm-hmm. And the advantages of membership are?
The advantages of the NCRA is that we get access to a lawyer whenever we have any problems, and she helps us out a lot when we have problems. Also, there's different government things that come up. For instance, when the government required all community radio stations to carry the emergency broadcast signal, the NCRA was able to work with the government to get a reduction in fees for the installation of that equipment and the purchase of it. So because we were members of the NCRA, we paid a fraction of what it would have cost us to put that in. So now we are part of the emergency broadcast system. They just go on air whenever they want. We don't even know. They just do it without any intervention from us. The things like that. Also, national advertising. The figures we get from national advertising come from the fact that we are members of both. So the ARCQ will lobby Target Unique, which is the brokerage firm for advertising, and the leverage that they have with them depends on the number of members they have. So the more members that are in that association, the more clout they have in order to get government ads. Same thing with the NCRA. It becomes a little bit problematic for national advertising with the NCRA because there's a kind of a split way of seeing national advertising. The NCRA does include campus stations. They're not necessarily wanting to take government ads, and actually they're opposed to it. But they don't need money because they get the student levy, even a big student levy, not a 12 to 18,000 that we were getting at Bishops. That wasn't enough to even keep us going. So that's the advantage of those two organizations.
And there's a fee to join both of them. There's an annual fee.
Yes. Yeah, and their fee structure varies slightly from time to time, but some years you get your money's worth, some years you don't. But when you do get your money's worth, it's usually quite good. Yeah. Yeah.
And sorry, what was the last question?
Yeah.
You mentioned programming
Mm-hmm.
because what board doesn't do programming?
No.
Unless it's a problem, of course.
Who does?
For the programming manager, which is Maureen. Yeah. So yeah, there's a specific position at the station of what goes on the air, which is again Maureen's job, which is the programming manager. She decides the rotation. Basically, yeah, it's the content. Yeah, rotation content. What time DJs have and stuff like that. And so that's.
And if somebody wanted to have input into programming.
Well, we follow our compliance too. There is a compliance, and I think David can enlighten us.
If someone wants to do a show, we have no problem with that. We provide the training, we provide, of course, the equipment and support them through learning how to do a show on their own. And Matt does the show. Matt has been doing a show for quite a while. And Matt knows how to do all of that, but in the beginning we helped him out and showed him. Now he just has to access the key card and walks in and does a show and that's it. As far as programming content goes for someone who does a show, that's pretty much in conjunction for him, but if someone wants to do a show, it's usually no problem. We can work the numbers out with the rest of the schedule of what is on air. We do have to respect the 35% Canadian content. That doesn't mean that someone doing the show will have to respect that, because our playlist will fill in for them. will do more than 35%, so it covers for their show that's an hour or two that isn't as much Canadian content. We have no problem with the content that people have, unless of course there's some problem with content, with
vulgarity and stuff like that.
Inappropriate programming, telling people how to make drugs, household products.
All things that have happened in the past. just the reason this is brought up specifically, it's stuff that's happened in the past.
These are actual examples.
Actual examples.
But we've had, the best ways to commit suicide.
Yep.
And
that's why we need a programming manager.
yeah, so we don't, right away that stopped. We don't allow that.
Yeah.
There's enough suicide.
Yeah.
But if people have recommendations or comments about the actual programming itself, like I want to hear more country, we're open to that as well. As long as it's positive criticism, we don't mind. If they come in and say, I want more country, you guys suck. Well,
that's another reason
it's not very credible and we're going to ignore it.
There's another reason we keep mentioning country, because that's the one that we have. Most people who come to say we don't play enough of is they're saying we're not playing enough country. But it doesn't happen a lot, but that's what most people who do say we're not listening, don't play enough of. We don't play.
The big problem with that is
it doesn't fit in.
With these people.
Yeah.
For some reason, the station has to be all country.
Yeah, but again, that doesn't fit into our compliance rules.
But it seems to be that way. But certainly, with the program you're doing, that we hopefully will do steadily. Movie reviews, or if you want to do another program that was on any kind of spoken word content, that'd be perfect. That'd be wonderful as well.
Yep.
Talking about community events or anything else that interests you, we're totally open to that.
One of our requirements is actually spoken word. The basically Maureen's noon show that counts to that. Basically, when you do the reviews of the movies and stuff like that, that fits into there. Spoken word, yeah. It's a weird way of categorizing it, but like even if we had a show that was like an hour long of someone just doing a sports commentary sort of thing, that counts as spoken word.
If we were to play this AGM on the air, that would count as local produced spoken word content.
Yes, but we're not crazy, so that's not going to happen.
Just actually, from Bishop's University, Coach Craig Norman, has just started doing a show talking about Bishop's University sports.
Yeah.
And he has people come in and he interviews some players, coaches from other teams.
Ladies basketball in particular.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's wonderful, and that just started. So we're always getting new programs, and then as people leave, then of course, the program stops, and that's been part of the problem.
Yeah, there's always been a rotation though, but
it's with any community station, it's the same thing. You'll get a bunch of programs that'll start, and then some will stick for years, like Matt has stayed with us for many years.
Yep. Word of Grace is a good example too. They've been with us forever.
So it's a matter of what's available to us as volunteers.
Yeah.
So if someone said, well, why don't you become an all-country music station?
Legally, we can. That's basically.
That's where the compliance comes in. And I was asking David to
explain
on that. The spoken word, we need 15%, and we need so much Canadian content.
Yeah. But it goes beyond that. The CRDC has very strict guidelines on what content we can have.
Yeah.
There's a lot of play we can have in it, but we can't go completely country or completely folk or completely punk or completely rock. We have to have a certain percentage of world music, a certain percentage of
jazz.
So it's broken down into categories. Categories 3, I think is worlds and but each one has a certain percentage, and within that percentage, each one has a percentage of within that what is Canadian.
Yeah, it gets very complicated, but
very complicated.
Thankfully, with James worked out a system that a digital system, because MP3s, and the ones that we don't, we have to we enter into the system manually. But it helps us to bring in a report at it for any point in the day. We can say, okay.
What James has done is he has made it so that at any given point, at any time, we can see where we are for our content requirements. So we just looked up on the website, and we can see, okay, we're low this week on spoken word. We need to bring that up. We're low on, or we're okay for jazz.
Oh, okay, it's a different day.
Goes to the beast.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It's really
I was gonna say,
amazing that James has done. I don't don't know of any other station that has this.
Yeah, see, like, for example, categories 22 to 24. we're
This
at
is for the past
31%.
week,
Yeah, for the
from the
past week.
15th to the 21st, so
Yeah.
that's this week.
See, this week here, what we're low on is, like, these numbers here don't add up to 100%, obviously. But what we have here, so category 3 is Canadian content.
No.
No, this one here, I mean, this one here specifically, I'm saying. The one at 75%.
Yes, CanCon.
Yeah, CanCon. So that's Canadian content of category 3. To give us an example, we're supposed to play 12%, we're actually playing 75% we play on air fits in this category. So we're a lot higher. The only one we're having a little trouble is category 3 non-Canadian content, which we're 1% below. So we're actually fitting exactly so far
this week.
So far this week. Now we're actually fitting into.
We can actually go back to last week and
Yeah.
see what it was for last week.
It's amazing, isn't it?
There we go.
Yeah.
So everything was affected except for the spoken word content.
Yeah, spoken word content, we're off by about 4 hours. Yeah, see, we're staying. Our compliance is fairly on top of the game. We're on top of things when it comes to.
And this is really complex. Like this is just a summary we're looking
yes.
at here, but this goes down to like super detailed. Each individual category number.
Yeah, like here, for example, jazz and blues. Okay, we have 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 27 seconds of jazz and blues that played that week there. Which is a total of 29 entries. So it's a lot of information we have to keep track of. But the benefit of doing it this way is, again, if the CRTC says, okay, how much category 3 did you play this week? We can pull it out at any point in time. Right here, we've got category 3 non-Canadian content. We played 7 hours and 5 minutes and 7 seconds.
Yep.
So boom, we got the information for them. And this helps us with, again, like David said, if we have a DJ that comes on and plays only, for example, category 22, the whole show. Well, then we can offset that with the rest of the categories for the rest of the week. So it's adjustable.
We can also go and see the log sheets.
The DJs,
Yeah. And to make it even more fun, the CRTC won't allow you to put any of your requirements in between midnight and 6 a.m.
Yes.
So, this only counts up until midnight.
From 6 a.m. to midnight, but not from midnight to 6 a.m. So there's a 6 hour period.
Put our unpopular stuff at 2 a.m. Be done with it, but you can't.
Yeah, like, because under jazz, there's one category. You got normal, everyday jazz, like the Holly Cole Trio. Is that it? Yeah, that's what it's called. But then there's jazz that's not mainstream, which no one listens to apparently. But we have to put that on. That fits in there as well under a different category, and we have to play a percentage of that. It's really, really precise. And yeah, so when we have a DJ on air, when they do their own shows, this is the form they fill out. And with little descriptors, like 23 is acoustic, 24 is easy listening, 11 goes with new. So we have all these categories. And when they put it in, they'll fill out all the forms and choose if it's I'm assuming the C is for Canadian?
Yep.
Yeah.
Canadian hits, new, or instrumental.
Yeah, because also hits goes into that.
Yeah, the legend is here, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. So the hits is actually calculated as well. We want to do so many new content. We need that. I don't think we have a requirement. No, we do have a requirement, don't we?
Yeah, we do, yeah.
Yeah, and then instrumental.
We go back to this page here. Down here further.
Like I said, it doesn't mean that a person can't do a show on the type of music they want. We can also make up for it.
But again, it's got to fit into, it's got to be radio friendly content. Like, hip hop's fine. Just, you got to play the radio edited version. Punk music's fine. You got to play the radio edited version. So, no swear words because we'll get fined if that happens.
And it also has to be entirely in English too.
Yes.
Because our licenses are English.
Yep. Yeah.
And
No.
that includes the music too.
Yeah. We can't play any French content.
No French.
No French content because our license is for English content only.
What happens if the song got some French words?
That's fine. It's primarily English. We have played world. World is a different category. Like we can have Spanish songs. We can have stuff like Argentina, stuff from Europe.
It's category 33.
Yeah, category 33. But that is a very small percentage. It's not like locally produced. So like we can't have like, for example, if we choose a French Canadian, Vincent Valliere, for example.
Yeah, they don't count as international.
Yeah, they don't count as international. They're French local content. So that doesn't fit under. But see, World Beat International is the category it would fit under. So like, I'm trying to think of some bands. I don't know any international world bands. Eiffel 65. They're from France. They would work.
Yeah.
The people who would complain if we had French content would be French radio stations.
Yes.
They'll say that you have a English license, why are you stepping on our territory?
Yes, and we don't want, and they're mostly commercial, so we don't want to step on their toes. But one thing we have noticed, a lot of people who come and say that they listen to CJMQ is, which I'm surprised about, are French people, but they're mostly delivery drivers. Because, yeah, see?
Based on a poll on our website, 265 responders, 73% of which were French. And that's quite ironic because this poll is only available in English.
Yep.
And yet they still filled it out.
And we're an English radio station.
Yeah.
And we're an English radio station, and 73% of, based on this 265 statistic, are francophone listeners.
Now the reason we keep getting from them is it comes down to we don't play the same stuff all the time. Like you can, I'm listening to a commercial station. We won't name any stations, but a commercial station. And the radio was on. We're doing work for 2 weeks straight. You knew what time it was because of what song was playing. You can't do that with CJMQ. Like, 10 o'clock, the specific song's playing, it's 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the commercial stations, their playlists are set on specific times and stuff like that. Us is a more fluid, basically, way to describe it is that you can listen at 10 o'clock. Every day you're going to hear something different. Guaranteed, basically. So, yeah.
This number as well is quite interesting.
It's
the age of the listeners. Based on the same 265 people that answered, the majority of them were between 25 and 60. So that kind of goes towards your question before about the students listening in.
It's not
our target audience, really.
Yeah.
Plus, the student population. I mean, we're talking about Lennoxville. It's not very much compared to the population that we cover. If we're talking about 300,000 people and there's only a few thousand students in the obviously the percentage is going to be very small of students that listen. So that's not our target population, the student population, because it's such a minority. The population that we're targeting is really the 300,000 people that we can cover.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
Somebody have to sit there and input all that.
Well, this here's
some automatic way of it says, oh, I understand. The computer says I know what kind of.
The computer does for
the music?
For the music
content?
Yeah.
Brandon puts categories.
Oh,
Maureen has to put them in for each song.
Yeah, every time a song comes in, sorry. Yeah, Maureen categorizes it manually every time we get a new song, and that's able to put on the air because that's the only way to do it. There is no automated way for that part, but she only has to do it once. She only has to do it once. Like they'll take the song, label it appropriately, and then put it on the file server. So every time it plays, it automatically gets added to the list. Yeah. So it's not like it's every time she has to go through manually. It's only that when she puts the song
initially
on the file server. Initially, yes, yes. Again, it's still a lot of work because we do get a lot of new stuff every day. But but thankfully she's there because there's no way anybody else would do it.
We used to have to take the sheets filled out by hand.
Oh God.
It was just try to read somebody's writing too, which is
that's
impossible.
Yeah, that's why James created the online form for the DJs.
So James came up with this way of doing it, just fantastic.
It's saved hundreds of man hours.
Yeah, everything that plays on the air is automatically logged.
Oh yeah, so
there you go.
Categories.
Yeah. So if let's say you're listening to CJMQ at a specific time, and you want to know what song was playing, you can go to the website, search with the criteria of when it was played, time between. So let's say, it was between 5 and 6. Well, you go 5 and 6 today. So James will give an example. Yeah.
The date, 2017, 10, 20.
Yeah, 20. So we go submit, and between 5 and 6, these are the songs that we had playing. So if you knew roughly what time, let's say it was just at, there's our ads.
Let's go with 7:10.
Yeah.
Or 5:10. Here we go.
Okay, yeah, 5:10 was the best of Gordon Downey tribute. And then, then we had Daniel Vincent's ad, then we had the Linkin Park song, followed Virginia to Vegas.
I heard that Linkin Park song on the way here.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. So, and then we have the time, how long it played for. Here you can see that the Virginia to Vegas song was 3 minutes and 29 seconds. Yeah. This here, I'm not sure what this is. Is this NAD data? CC 170912.
NAD.
Yeah, these are NADs.
Yeah. What would that be? CC 1709.
That's one of those little snippets we have, the syndicated snippets.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
And I think the gourd thing there was, actually the news, like, somebody volunteers to do that.
Okay.
And, they called it the news today.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, it should be a 1-1.
Yeah.
It's a 1-1, yeah.
Yeah, that was a sad thing to hear about Gord County, though. But yeah, so at any point in time, if you hear a song that you liked, you can come to the website and just listen to it. Well, find out what it was.
And because Maureen categorizes every piece of content that goes onto the file server, every time the song is played by the computer, the song that she put on, and then puts it into this database for us.
Yeah.
And then based on this database, well, I can make generate the reports of the compliance based off of that.
Like weather category 12.
You guys get problems with the song.
Yes.
For SOCAN.
Yeah.
It's not a specific per song. It's just a global amount we pay based on our operating budget per year.
But SOCAN still asks for our lists.
Once in a while, yeah.
Yeah. They have the right to say, okay, between this period of time and this period of time, what did you play? They don't have, SOCAN doesn't have to say on how we play, what we play, or how long it's played for. They just want to know what it is. So they do it more for their records to see, so they can go to the artist and say, well, you know, this is how much we played on community radio. This is how much we played, and so on. But it's been a while.
They only ask for a week a year. Huh?
Yeah.
They use that information to pay artists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
So we play a local artist during our SOCAN survey, then that artist gets
helps them get paid.
And money comes from us. So 1.9% of our operational budget, whether we make a profit or not, just our operational budget goes to SOCAN, and that's divided up into the people that we play music on.
Yeah. Yeah. Same thing with the other radio stations. It's all the same thing. They give us a similar, well, not a similar amount, but they give which is mostly it's always operation. No, the commercial stations it's per play, right?
Commercial stations are in a different fee structure than we are. I'm
Yeah,
not sure what their structure
I know, but us it's because of the fact that if they went by per song, most community radio stations would be bankrupt because 1.9% is a reasonable amount.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the website is simple, but it's got a lot of information on it if you look deep enough. Yeah.
And if somebody does
Yes.
an individual show too, you have to keep in mind it's going to show up differently.
Yeah.
Because they have to enter all their songs and stuff
Exactly.
into the system.
Like a good example here, we got the Dibble B show. It's an hour and 47 minutes long, and it's the top 10 dance hits of the week. So that's what's playing right now in the air. We tuned into the station right now. That's what we hear.
Mm-hmm.
Which again, you can actually listen online with the link right on the side.
Yeah, for now he just has the show in.
And since we pay for our SOCAN, we get this nice little thing we can put on our website. Yay! Yeah.
You're gonna have to amend that. Part of it talks about how you configure membership fees.
Yep.
Exactly.
That was just, until it was voted on, we had to leave it there.
Yeah, so I'll be changing that.
That's a very good point. Thank you
to
for
be able to
pointing that out.
submit your membership directly on the
Yeah.
website.
We can still leave it as a donation. We'll leave
Oh, the
it as a
donation
one, yeah, but not as a, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've actually had people subscribe online.
Yeah.
It doesn't show, but the website does an awful lot for us.
Yeah, there's not a lot of visitors, but it works. The part that works the most is the automation.
And
It's all done through
interviews.
Yeah, the interviews. It's all really through our webpage. We do a lot of stuff.
Maureen posts almost every single, if not every single interview that she
Yep.
does on the website. So if you miss it, then somebody can go and they can actually go back and listen to it right here off of the website.
Mm-hmm. Which is very useful.
The organizations that we.
Yeah, like for example, the most recent one being Hank and Patsy. I played about Hank Snow and Patsy Klein. See, Lord Teasdale, Ralph Steiner starring a play called Being Hank and Patsy. The play is on Saturday, so they did an interview about that, and that was today. Well, it was put online today. Time with Coach Craig Norman. So basically, yeah, every interview, boom, put it right up on the webpage. Which a lot of people like that because again, you start the interview, you're driving in your car, you're listening to it, you're interested. Then you're at your location, you have to get out. You can't listen to the whole thing. You want to listen to the rest? I'm right online.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty handy.
Very handy, yeah.
And the weather is a really neat automation too, created by James.
Yeah, the weather, it basically finds out what the weather is, takes a bunch of samples, puts them together into a file, and then plays it. So like when you hear the weather, which is it's in James's voice, but it's all little
It's
pieces.
not James. How does that work?
A little on the robotic side.
Yeah. That was done purposely, so you didn't notice that there's cuts in between each sample.
Yeah, it's a tiny bit robotic, but most people don't catch on it, and they actually think that it's.
Except for
I've had people come up to me, I don't know how many times, asking me, "How do you do that? Like you're at work all day, and I listened to the weather like this morning, and now it's not the same anymore. Like, do you like call in or something and like record it?" No,
magic.
It's all automated, 100% automated.
Yeah, that was amazing when we started doing that, because well, at the beginning it was funny because there were some times where there were certain weather conditions that didn't exist. There was no file for it. So it happened once, and tomorrow there will be, and you hear blank, and then it goes on to what the rest of the weather, with the temperature of, and it goes on to the temperature, but you don't know what the weather's going to be pretty much now, because it's, you know, like sleet. How often do we get sleet? Almost never. So that was missing in the files, for example. So, but yeah, it basically, it pulls the information from, I'm assuming from the Environment Canada.
This exact report right here.
Yeah, so this report right here is where it will draw its information, grab the most pertinent information, create a file out of it, and then puts it into rotation with James's voice doing, you know, like there will be a mix of sunny and cloud, high of 20, and there you go.
Yep.
So yes, that's a little trade secret.
Not anymore.
Not anymore, yeah. But no, that's one thing that a lot of people are very, very happy about is that they actually hear the weather local to, you know, because like you listen to you listen to some of the big stations.
I've heard what a lot of people appreciate too is because it's all pre-recorded, it always comes out the same. So every time they hear it, it kind of has the same sound to it. So they kind of get accustomed to hearing it like that. And it's always consistent every time they hear the weather report. It's always in the same format. The conditions are always in the same places. The temperatures are always in the same places. So they can actually predict practically themselves when I'm going to say something specifically, and they kind of like that because it's comfortable to them.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Plus, I'm speaking very clearly, so there's no doubt about what I said. So they like that quite a bit.
Seems to be in there.
And because a lot of our much of our listenership is French, they
really
appreciate it as well because I'm speaking very clearly. And they can really pick up what I'm saying.
All right. Any more questions? Oh, okay. So yeah, well, basically we mixed any other business and question period together. So here's some pictures of some people that we had in the booth over the years.
Melanie might recognize one on the right there.
No, I don't think so. I blame James. So yeah, so these are again people we've had in the booth.
There's quite a few slides actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, for the Daffodil campaign, that one was I know Maureen. Yeah, Maureen Quick. I've seen her. Yeah.
Listens with us. That's why.
That's where I recognize her from. That's where most people in Lennoxville I recognize from is done business with you. Well, us. She was a client of James's, Maureen Quigg.
Well, we had the computer store.
No, like I said, almost everybody was.
Back in the day. There you go.
Yeah. No, well, we made a go of it.
We did.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Yeah. We got Paul Malin here. Wade Lynch. Yeah, more people. Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, Naturalist Club. Yeah. Inspiration. That's a hard word to pronounce.
On the left there.
Yeah, that's the coach that was in recently actually. Yeah,
These are all guests from your show.
Yeah, I'm assuming they're mostly
students on the women's basketball.
Yeah. So he's on there. Adjournment. Free food.
We need a motion to adjourn.
Oh yeah, we need a motion to adjourn.
Well, that was a lot of hands. I think people are hungry or
like a laser.
Okay. Which one do you think went first, James?
Oh, it's hard to say. I think it was Melanie went first.
Yep.
I think it was Matt.
Matt and Melanie with borderline, so we'll say Matt second, Melanie first. There you go.
You get extra sandwiches.
All right, so we'll just turn that off. All right. All right, so we'll just clean this off. We'll stop the broadcast.
Well, that's painless.
Well, yeah. I know. It's hot. We'll just clean the table so we can get the food.
If you want sandwiches.
Wow.
Oh, God.
Nice.
You want sandwiches? We'll email them to you.
Prepaid postage box.
See for your budget there, on the back.
That's great. For what now?
For your budget, all the numbers.
Yeah.